Hello, I'm Craig Brailsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is Foremost Clean Energy. Foremost is a rapidly growing North American uranium and lithium exploration company. The company holds an option to earn up to a 70% interest in 10 prospective uranium properties, with the exception of the Hatchet Lake, where Foremost is able to earn up to 51%, spanning more than 330,000 acres in the prolific, uranium-rich Athabasca Basin region of northern Saskatchewan. As the demand for carbon-free energy continues to accelerate, domestically mined uranium and lithium are poised for dynamic growth, playing an important role in the future of clean energy. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Aptivo Therapeutics. Aptevo is a clinical-stage biotechnology company focused on developing novel immuno-oncology therapies through its proprietary bispecific antibody platforms, Adaptir and Adaptir Flex. The company is advancing a diverse pipeline that includes both clinical and preclinical candidates designed to harness the immune system to target hematologic and solid tumors with greater precision and safety. We'll learn more when we speak with the Chief Operating Officer later in the show. Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. The single most important way we attempt to manage risk in any environment is by seeking to buy stocks very cheaply. We never want to pay too much. This quote comes from Bill Hench of Royce Opportunity Funds, and it is featured in Chapter 3 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with Foremost Clean Energy. Hello there. Today we have Jason Barnard, President and CEO of Foremost Clean Energy, which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol FMST. Jason, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
Foremost Clean Energy is a uranium company. Why should Americans care about uranium right now?
Well, Craig, in May of this year, President Trump and his administration declared nuclear energy a security threat. And he put forward $2.7 billion to fast track and bring online nuclear reactors and move forward with nuclear power and its corresponding uranium. So uranium is very important to America. And more importantly, it's important to start to produce uranium in North America. And that's what Foremost Clean Energy plans to do. We are in the Athabasca Basin, where you have some of the highest grade uranium mines in the world. And we're busy exploring to deliver nuclear power and uranium to North America.
All right, so uranium certainly is a hot topic these days, as you've established. Tell us more, though. How does this tie into Trump's America First energy plan?
Craig, the America First energy plan is a plan to quadruple nuclear power by 2050. And this creates a bit of a dilemma because uranium is in a current supply deficit. The deficit is about 25%. And now we're looking at a situation where the fast tracking and the moving forward in nuclear power needs to quadruple by 2050. And where are you going to get 2, 3, 4 times the amount of uranium by then? And this situation is exacerbated by the fact that 40% of the uranium that the United States uses is supplied by Russia. So Foremost Clean Energy is going to deliver in the future uranium to North America and bring a more domestic production online in a market that's got its current deficit supply, but has a lot of demand coming in the future. So we don't want to duplicate situations where we rely on China and Russia, like we have done with rare earths. So that's why it's important for companies like Foremost to be hunting for uranium discoveries.
AI is another hot topic, Jason. What's its connection to uranium?
Well, each AI data center, Craig, requires as much power as what would power a small city. And this creates another dilemma insofar as, you know, where do you get the power from? Nuclear power is the only baseline, consistent 24/7 power, not intermittent like wind or solar. So what you need is, and if you use a situation where you have a small modular reactor, which the Trump administration would like to see fast tracked, you can bring a modular reactor right near an AI data center. So it's very important for America to find a way to bring the uranium on to supply those nuclear reactors. And AI is very much connected to uranium, and uranium is essentially an AI adjacent trade.
All right, Jason, you've made it clear that uranium is important. What I want to know now is what makes Foremost different from other uranium companies?
Well, Foremost is different in a few ways. Significantly, we are in the Athabasca Basin. The Athabasca Basin is known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium, and that's because its grades are sometimes 10 to 100 times those of the rest of the world. We will be drilling our Murphy Lake property, which is in proximity to the Hurricane deposit. The Hurricane deposit has 48 million pounds of 34.5% uranium. That's the highest grade deposit in the world. So we are in the high grade area where you find uranium. Secondly, we have a partner, Denison Mines. They're our largest strategic shareholder, and they own 16% of Foremost. They are a $2.5 billion uranium developer, and Foremost benefits by having that large strategic partner insofar as technically, insofar as finding uranium, and financially. They are a deep pocketed uranium developer who just raised $335 million on the New York Stock Exchange. So having this kind of a partner to work with you on developing uranium and being essentially their exploration arm on the NASDAQ to go and feed their pipeline of discoveries as they will be developing the next mine in the Athabasca Basin is quite significant and sets us away from the rest. Also, we have a $6.5 million drill program on our 10 properties, not one, half of them with uranium mineralization already. So a lot of companies, they're looking at one property, two properties. We have 10, and they've had millions of dollars of work on them. And we plan to go in with our fully funded $6.5 million program and drill.
All right, Jason, uranium clearly important, also clearly a priority for the Trump administration. What's the biggest risk to this nuclear revival?
The biggest risk, Craig, is running out of uranium. Currently, the United States imports in 90% of their uranium. Russia, well, it comes from Russia and Kazakhstan, most of it, and that's all going to China right now. China is hoarding uranium at the moment, and that's a situation. So we don't want another situation like the rare earth situation. That's why the Trump administration is seeing this as a security threat, and that's why we're busy trying to unlock sources of uranium to feed the AI boom and the insatiable demand for power in North America.
Jason, final question. Why Foremost Clean Energy? Why should anyone take an interest in your company right now?
Well, I touched on that. Uranium, take a look at the chart. It's, I feel, in a secular bull market. I feel it's in the first or second inning of that bull market. And it's currently in a supply deficit. And we've covered where a lot of demand is coming from, but really not where the supply is in North America. So that's why Foremost. Also, with the partner, Denison, what you have is in that region of Athabasca, you have Cameco's mines. That's the largest producer in the world. You have lots of mines and mills. So if you hit a discovery in the area, you get an automatic re-rating to a much higher market cap. And at the same time, with Denison being our partner and helping us technically and financially, we're somewhat de-risked than most companies that would be doing what we're doing. So in this market, I think, you know, nuclear power is the one of the hottest mega trends on the planet. And you can own foremost, you can own a call on uranium on the NASDAQ.
Jason, you make a very powerful case. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Craig.
Now, to get more information on Foremost Clean Energy, visit foremostcleanenergy.com. You can also call 1-800-REDCHIP to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Foremost Clean Energy. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Aptivo Therapeutics. Hello, we're here today with Jeff Lamothe, the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Aptivo Therapeutics, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol APVO. Aptivo is a clinical stage biotechnology company focused on developing novel, bispecific immunotherapies for the treatment of cancer. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you, Craig. It's great to see you. I'm happy to be here today to talk with you about Aptivo. We've generated a lot of momentum this year with both data and in our pipeline expansion, and I look forward to sharing that story with you.
Jeff, how would you describe Aptivo's strategic focus today, and what distinguishes your approach in the bispecific space?
We've gained a lot of momentum since you last spoke with our CEO, Marvin, in January, and our core mission remains unchanged, Craig. We are in an exciting phase of development and anticipate meeting important milestones in the months ahead. At our heart, Aptivo is focused on the development of bispecific antibodies, designed with the goal of delivering targeted, effective immune engagement while maintaining the kind of safety and tolerability outcomes intended to allow these therapies to be used either alone or in combination with other therapies. While our drug candidates are still in development and have not yet been approved, we're working with growing confidence that our differentiated approach, supported by compelling early clinical data, positions us to deliver meaningful therapeutic advances for patients with high unmet needs. What is new is the increasing breadth of our CD3 engaging portfolio. We have built a pipeline of CD3 molecules that share a common design foundation, our CRISP7-derived binding domain. That domain is unique to Aptivo, and we believe it is a key to unlocking the balance between potency and safety. We've seen positive results in hematologic malignancies like AML, with mapletamig leading the way in the clinic, and we are extending that approach now into solid tumors. This isn't just preclinical theory, Craig. Mapletamig's performance gives us confidence that our design strategy translates to positive patient outcomes. We've always operated as a nimble biotech, staying lean, moving efficiently, and focusing on smart innovation with the greatest potential benefit to patients. But what really drives us is the strength of our team, a group that knows how to take programs from concept to clinic with discipline and focus. So, while our mission has not changed, our opportunity set is expanding. We're advancing a portfolio that we believe can deliver meaningful therapeutic benefit for patients, and that is exactly where we want to be.
Now, that portfolio strategy, Jeff, how does it balance innovation with clinical and commercial opportunity?
When we think about portfolio strategy at Aptivo, it really starts with the patient and the opportunity to bring forward therapies in areas of high unmet need. Every indication we are pursuing, whether in hematologic malignancies or solid tumors, represents a multi-billion-dollar market opportunity. We are intentional about designing agents with distinct mechanisms of action that can address a broad range of cancers and improve outcomes for patients who need better options. And unfortunately, there are millions of patients with that need. Today, Aptivo includes 6 candidates, Craig. That's up from 5 last time we spoke. 3 of these represent our growing suite of CD3 engaging molecules built on a CRISP7 backbone. We believe that CRISP7 is a critical differentiator. These are not off-the-shelf designs. Each molecule is engineered for the unique demands of its target tumor type and characterized by a low cytokine release profile, which has historically been a challenge for competitors in this class. This is important Developing drugs with reduced toxicity burden opens the door for greater combinability with both standard of care and emerging therapies. Our CD3 suite includes mepletamig now in phase 1/2 clinical trial for frontline AML. We've been impressed with an 85%, I say again, an 85% remission rate and no cytokine release syndrome in frontline patients across 2 trials. We've built our CD3 suite with the addition of APVO 442 for prostate cancer and recently announced APVO 455 for multiple Nectin-4 positive tumors. The other half of our pipeline includes 3 additional molecules with differentiated mechanisms, including clinical candidate ALG APV 527 and preclinical candidates APVO 711 and APVO 603. These molecules are designed to target a range of solid tumors. We've structured our pipeline to balance innovation with real-world clinical potential, giving us multiple shots on goal and, we believe, the potential to make a meaningful difference for patients.
Now, Jeff, mepletamig continues to deliver promising data as you've just been outlining. What do the results mean for patients, and how do you translate clinical success into long-term impact?
And we are really encouraged, Craig, by the continued success of mepletamig in the clinic. Based on what we've seen so far, the data continue to validate everything we believe about its potential. The data show that mepletamig is demonstrating a strong safety and tolerability profile alongside meaningful clinical activity. In our ongoing frontline AML study of evaluable patients reported on to date, 85% have achieved remission across 2 trials. This is a compelling result in a high-need population where treatment options are often limited, especially for patients who cannot tolerate intensive chemotherapy. Equally important, our safety and tolerability profile is encouraging. For example, we have observed no cytokine release syndrome in frontline patients to date. Mepletamig's performance underscores its differentiated mechanism of action, designed to activate the immune system precisely against leukemic cells while reducing off-target effects. That precision is why mepletamig stands at the forefront of our CD3 engaging profile. It is the proof of concept for our engineering strategy. Looking ahead, we see real potential for mepletamig to define the standard of care in frontline AML. Of course, continued evaluation will be key, but we believe these results are an important step forward, not just for Aptivo, but for patients who urgently need safer, more effective treatment options. This is the kind of impact we aim for, advancing therapies that change the conversation around care in some of the toughest cancers we face.
Turning to execution, Jeff, you've got so much working for you, and it's such an important area. But what about things like operational excellence in resource management and advancing a pipeline like Aptivo's? What do you think there?
Yeah, Craig. Well, for us, operational excellence really comes down to staying disciplined and focusing on the science, especially in a market environment that demands both agility and smart resource management. Through this challenging time, we've stayed committed to driving near-term value while expanding our pipeline to ensure long-term opportunity. We operate with a true biotech mindset. We're disciplined, we're lean, we're always aligning our resources to move the science forward. The funds we deploy are tied to advancing our pipeline or generating data that informs our next step. Our recent financing has extended our runway, but has not changed our focus on capital efficiency and making smart strategic decisions where we invest. So, operationally, we've built strong processes around trial execution, data readouts, and portfolio decision making sure we're positioned to move quickly when the data supports it. And that includes prioritizing programs that have the clearest path to value creation for both patients and shareholders.
Personal question for you, Jeff. What excites you the most about Aptivo's next chapter?
Sure, yeah. What excites me the most about Aptivo's next chapter is really the momentum we're building on multiple fronts. Starting with mepletamig, we believe this program has real potential to shift the treatment landscape in frontline AML. The remission rates we're seeing, combined with the strong safety profile, reinforce our confidence that mepletamig could become a meaningful option for patients who historically have had few. And that is really where it starts for us and for me, with patients. Our goal is to improve outcomes and provide new options, especially in settings where treatment choices are limited or the standard of care still leaves patients at risk. Whether it is AML or a range of solid tumors that we are pursuing, that mission drives us in everything we do. As part of that, We're focused on advancing therapies that offer safety and tolerability advantages, an example being our CRIS7 differentiation. We believe it can enable better combinations and ultimately better outcomes. We also have a high degree of confidence in our ability to execute, whether that is progressing our pipeline, making smart strategic choices, or building meaningful partnerships, with all of these actions geared toward creating value for shareholders. What is unique about Aptivo is where we sit in the biotech landscape. We're at the intersection of strong science, operational discipline, and real clinical relevance. That gives us the opportunity to not just participate in the field of bispecifics and multispecifics, but to become a recognized leader here, anchored by two powerful and versatile proprietary drug development platforms.
Final question, Jeff, and again, it's a personal one for you. What has been the most rewarding part of leading at this stage of Aptivo's evolution?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to think about this, Craig. When I think about leading at Aptivo, several things come to mind. First off, it's having the privilege of working alongside my dedicated and talented teammates and colleagues, many of whom have been with us since the beginning. This is a group of people who have built Aptivo with a shared sense of purpose, and it has been incredible seeing the team deliver milestone after milestone as we've taken programs from concept to clinic and seeing preclinical promise turn into clinical reality. Second, it's been deeply rewarding to see the company mature without losing the entrepreneurial spirit that got us here. We've stayed nimble, we've stayed hungry, and that is not something that every company can say. And third, and most important to me, Craig, we understand that we can do something big. We have positively impacted patients' lives and have the opportunity to continue doing that. Seeing patients respond to our therapies, knowing that in some cases we've already made a difference for people with very few options, is a privilege that I value highly. And it is what keeps us motivated to do more, to push the science forward, and to reach even more patients in the future.
Jeff, great to meet you today, and thanks for sharing the great Aptivo story with us.
Likewise, Craig, it's been great speaking with you. We appreciate the opportunity to talk everything Aptivo and hope to share a new update with you again, perhaps around the end of the year.
Now, to get more information on Aptivo Therapeutics, visit apvoinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Aptivo Therapeutics. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met Foremost Clean Energy, FMST, on the NASDAQ. Foremost Clean Energy is a rapidly growing North American uranium and lithium exploration company. The company holds an option to earn up to a 70% interest in 10 prospective uranium properties, with the exception of the Hatchet Lake, where Foremost is able to earn up to 51%, spanning more than 330,000 acres in the prolific, uranium-rich Athabasca Basin region of northern Saskatchewan. As the demand for carbon-free energy continues to accelerate, domestically mined uranium and lithium are poised for dynamic growth, playing an important role in the future of clean energy. Learn more at www.foremostcleanenergy.com. Then you met Aptivo Therapeutics Incorporated, APVO, on the NASDAQ. Aptivo Therapeutics is a clinical stage biotechnology company focused on developing novel immuno-oncology therapies through its proprietary bispecific antibody platforms, Adaptir and Adaptir Flex. The company is advancing a diverse pipeline that includes both clinical and preclinical candidates designed to harness the immune system to target hematologic and solid tumors with greater precision and safety. Learn more at www.apvoinfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with the market caps of $2 billion and less, and it's categorized by industry. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel, and be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.